Hey everybody, this is Sam from MissionMonday.com, and on the other side of this magic screen is
It's Mark from MissionMonday.com.
right on. You
Yeah.
get a lot of darkness going on today, like your chair and your shirt and everything's like blending in. You're almost kind of like just a floating head there.
Yeah, I suppose that's what it looks like.
That's all right.
What I feel like today, Sam, is just a floating head.
It's all right. When we put this up on the BAM radio network, they just hear us anyway. So if you're listening to us on BAM, Mark's a floating head.
Well, they've been there at one point in their lives, I bet.
We've all been there. Hey, Mark, get into this week's mission. I have a question for you. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Dude, I'm living the dream right now.
You are actually in the process of being what you want to be when you grow up. Now, when you were a kid and people asked you that question, what did you say?
Okay, when I was a kid, I said a police officer.
All right.
And that's about it.
One of my students asked me that in the hallway today. You know what? He asked me, what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were like in elementary school? And I told him I wanted to be Johnny Cash. But then I realized he already had the job.
Right, yeah. Now, did the kid know who Johnny Cash was?
Yeah. Here in Butler County, heck yeah, he knows who Johnny Cash is.
Yeah, that's good, because you'd run into quite a few who wouldn't.
I don't cotton with those people. That's all I'm saying. But this isn't just idle conversation. That's what this week's mission is. For our students, we want you to tell somebody, what do you want to be when you grow up or graduate? But that's just part one. Part two, you need to also tell that person how you're going to get to that. What's part of your plan? Which brings us to our adults, parents, staff, volunteers. Here's what I want you to do. Stimulate that conversation. Be asking students, what do you want to be when you grow up? Or what do you want to do when you graduate? And then when they tell you whatever their aspiration is, you need to give them a step they need to take. So if you have a kindergartner that says they want to be a firefighter, you better say, well, you need to start learning about fire trucks. We should probably look up some fire truck stuff on YouTube and see what they actually do. And if you have a student say, well, I really like to be a pediatrician, you need to say, gosh, that's a lot of school and that's going to cost a lot of money. Have you started to look into some scholarships and loans that you might be eligible for, and help them take some steps? Because I don't know about you, Mark, when somebody asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, Johnny Cash, I didn't even have a guitar, let alone a plan at that point in time.
Now, Sam, what happens when you ask a student or a kid that and they go, I don't know?
That is a great opportunity for you to say, well, let me tell you about some strengths that you have, some assets, some talents, and what do you think you could do with those? Or maybe give them an idea and say, hey, you're really good at A, which might mean you could successfully become B in the future. How's that for an answer?
I love that answer.
Were you just trying to throw me off?
I'm just picturing myself asking the question and thinking about what students might say.
There you go. But all y'all out there ought to be promoting this with your students and say, be thinking about this, because at some point in time, an adult is probably going to ask you this week, and then they'll start to have answers loaded up in their head, and they might even have some really good steps that you didn't even think of how they can reach those aspirations. Mark, my friend, you got anything else that you want to add?
I do. Did you see, I put a tweet out maybe a week ago, and it said something about now my youngest son's future, is set because he plays video games a lot and he likes to play video games. And I think he just wants to do that for a living. And now they have a sport competition where they play video games and they have people in the crowd who watch them play video games. So he now has a future. If he said, I want to play video games, 5 years ago, it's like, no, dude, you got to have dreams and aspirations. Now it's like, oh, okay, I can see that.
I think your okay is about as good as my son plays baseball. So thank goodness there's the pros. Because recently I listened to this article that was talking about how about 25% of parents think that their child, if they're involved in athletics, has a legitimate chance of making that be their full-time career as a professional.
Yeah, but dude, this is new. Now this is new ground.
New. But let's look at the percentages.
It's not Tron, Sam.
It's not Tron, but let's look at the percentages, Mark. I'm saying there's probably even, I'm saying he's probably got a better chance percentages wise of becoming a professional high-ally player.
Yeah, but I could say, hey, maybe if that doesn't work out for you, you could be a video game designer or a coder or whatever.
Hence Tron.
Hence the Tron.
You already had a backup conversation in your pocket, man.
There it goes.
There you go. All right, my friend. You got anything else before we take off?
Yeah, I think people should go to missionmoney.com, and I think they should check out the section called The Book, and I think they should buy the book.
I recently noticed that on Amazon, and there's, by the way, there's a link to the Amazon thing so you can purchase the book. If you are one of those Prime members, and I'm not shilling Amazon and saying that you need to become a Prime member, but if you are, the book is only $4.95 with free shipping.
Whoa, that's a deal.
You're practically making money buying that book.
That's a deal.
All right, man. I will see you next week for the mission, okay?
That sounds good.
Take care.